Hey guys, it's Jeremiah, Steps Pressure Washer and More. We're out in Benson today. We're going to be doing 3 houses and I believe a deck along with the day. Let's go ahead and do a quick walk around on this one. We were here about a year and a half ago and cleaned it up. This is actually the north side of the house, so not a huge buildup on algae, but we've got a good bit of spider webs. It just needs a nice little cleanup. I'm going to do a quick oxidation check here. No sun hitting anything yet today. Not seeing much here. We got a little bit of cloud cover to help keep us cool. And I got the hose pulled all the way around to the back corner. I'll wash my way back to the truck. And really not much for oxidation. So that's a good sign. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing washed. And have them taped up all the door locks. And again, not much buildup here, just because it was about a year and a half ago. This is really just more maintaining. It's a rental property, so the landlord just has me come out each year to get it done. No noticeable damage to the siding. Another oxidation check here. A little bit on this side. I know we get a lot of sun coming through over there, and this area here is really the only algae that I'm seeing above this window, and then down here around the window. So we get this thing cranked up, moving right along. Just got done washing the back side of this house, and this is going to be our usual process, where I hook up the water first, and then I tape up the door locks, do my pre-inspection walkthrough, pull the pressure hose, and by then I've usually got a full tank of water to start off. And if I don't, I at least have an idea of what my water flow is going to look like for the day on this job. And then wash 2 sides, rinse 2 sides, and on the last side, I turn off the water at the spigot when I rinse, so that I can drain my tank before rolling down the road. And that little action of draining the tank before I run down the road allows me to operate my vehicle more safely, and I don't have to sit in their driveway waiting for my water tank to empty out. So had an issue last week with my lights on the trailer. I was actually coming back from Morrisville, and that's about a 50-mile trip, and I kept getting some honks and weird looks, and apparently I had no brake lights, turn signals, tail lights, anything. Well, no, my left blinker worked, which was weird, but I ordered a kit off of Amazon for a same-day delivery, or next day, I guess, and badly wired them onto the trailer. But I've got working lights today, and that was kind of my rush over the weekend, was I needed to get that done so that I could get back out here and keep going without having to reschedule anybody. On to rinsing this second side. Just getting it done. Alrighty, there we go. Nice and clean and ready to rock. Alright, on to job number 2 today. I'm going to be doing this back porch along with the rest of the house, but this back porch is nice and bright white. And it's got a good bit of algae growth all over it. A little out of breath, been pulling hose. Yep, just enough to warrant a good wash. This white's going to come out really nice and bright. Back here we've got our southern facing side. Get a bit of dirt there. And check some oxidation on this. Not too much right there. And it's not a huge home. All the houses today are about 1 story. A little fading here on the hardware on the garage. And just a little bit of algae here on the front of the home. Needs to be cleaned up. Nothing too serious. Just your regular run-of-the-mill algae. So I'll get it cleaned up. Alright, so the water is going a little slower today than normal. I made a couple phone calls and made some more appointments for the rest of the month. Just about full for June, but I wanted to give this a chance to fill up. It is fairly slowly coming out, so hopefully that's not going to slow me down too much, but I've already spent about 10 minutes waiting for this to fill up, and that was after doing the hoses and taping up the door locks and stuff. So alright, hopefully this is going to be simple, quick, and easy, but I will take into account lack of water. Alright, on to side number 2. I'm keeping an eye on the tank from here. We're doing pretty well. We're probably 60% full on the tank. And I just did the back deck soft wash. Did not do any sort of pressure on that. It was a stained deck with painted rails. So it just got a nice and easy soft wash. And that was the side that worried me the most, because I can't keep an eye on the water level on the tank while I'm back there. So I should be able to see the tank very easily from all other sides. You know, that is the beauty of the buffer tank, is it's not necessarily, if you've got 3 gallons a minute coming out of the spigot and you need 4, you can fill that 50-gallon tank up and run for about an hour without running out of water. But if you got 3 gallons a minute coming out of the spigot with no buffer tank, which I did my first few years, you struggle with that water pressure and the anxiety of burning out your pump every time it happens. And so that is one beautiful part of having that buffer tank, is not just having water on demand, even out here in the country, but also having a stress-free day. When you know your water is running short, you still get 4 gallons a minute every minute, as long as there's something in that buffer tank. Alrighty, and there is number 2. Let's head off to number 3. Gotta love it when those signs you put out in March are still here in mid-June. Got a couple of those down this road, and then the main road that this heads out to has one from November that we put out. So I am loving these signs getting left behind. That's how I get almost all of my jobs, is through those signs, and I don't regret them for a day. So this is the north side of the house. It has got a good bit of growth on it. It's probably been, I'd say, 2 or 3 years. It's like a bluish green home, so it probably didn't stand out that bad. Got a vent cover missing right up here. It's just kind of open vent up there to the attic. Right about here, we get a super sunny side with algae growing under the lip. Slight oxidation, nothing too terrible. And we're not going to touch this deck today. It's going to stay as is. A little bit more green here along the downspout. Again, out of breath from pulling hose. Beautiful day out in the country. Again, all three of these homes today were about 5 miles from my house. So it has been just kind of jump from one to the next. There's a lot more, considerable more oxidation here on the southern side of the home. I also wanted to note, it looks like either oil, grease, or something right here. This is where the trash cans go, so a little something back here and some damage around the water spigot. A little bit of the flashing behind the fascia is peeling there. Paint chipping here on the front porch. We're going to hit this with a little bit of pressure, see if we can get any of this off. A lot of cobwebs up in the corners and the creases. And a little bit more peeling up here by the roof. All right, I'm gonna get this thing washed. All right, getting started on the last house of the day. Waiting for that little bit of the line to purge. And this is gonna come out nice and bright. I don't know if it's ever been washed. It doesn't look like a very old house. It's in a very new development area. The area all around my home is growing like absolute wildfire. So I'm washing a whole lot more new homes in my area than I do old homes in my area. It's an old farming community that is being turned into a new subdivision community. That's the way it goes sometimes. This house and every house gets our standard 1% mix. Nothing fancy on this one today. Really nothing fancy on any of my homes today. Just going through and getting it cleaned up. I don't know if I'm going to be necessarily able to wash two sides, rinse two sides, but I'll maybe do 1.5, 1.5, and 1. That's going to be my thought process on this one. It's kind of got some harder to hit areas, and the sun's on the siding pretty good right now, so I'm going to wash this one in half the back and come back and rinse. I'm going to go ahead and give this little portion here a quick rinse. I went back to go rinse the northern side, and it was still very, very much in need of some dwell time, so I gave it another coat just to keep it wet. And when I come on over here, this was almost instantly transitioned because it's in the sun. I'm going to get it all nice and rinsed off. Paying extra attention to these lips. It might still have a little bit of algae built up underneath them. Client did say that they did not have gutters on the house, so I'm assuming that most of the underneath parts of each one of these vinyl pieces is going to have a little bit of algae built up just from the water running off the roof and then down over the siding for so long. So a little something different today. Nothing crazy. This right here is pretty notable, is this algae growing on here has actually turned white. I don't know if you can see that, but it is leaving behind a ton of white algae. So I'm trying my best to rinse all that away. Alright, so this one is all done. Tore up some paint on the front porch per the customer's request. The whites came out looking great, and all that green algae went away. Nice, beautiful, clean siding. Alright, well that's going to do it for me today, you guys. I'm going to roll up, roll out. See y'all next time. Y'all be safe out there.